name is Fumi Falana. I'm the National Coordinator for Women Empowerment and Legal Aid, a non-governmental organization that defend and protect the rights of women and children in Nigeria. This morning we'll be bringing to you our usual program, the rights of women and children under the laws of Nigeria. Specifically this morning, we shall be discussing the adoption law under our laws in Nigeria. Adoption in Nigeria is governed by adoption law. Very often, it has been reported that some people go to homes to buy children. If you go to homes, different homes, or you contact a person to buy a child under the pretext of adopting a child, you are committing an offense. There is a law that governs adoption in Nigeria, and if you desire to adopt a child, you are contributing to the social welfare in the society, and it is desirable under the law. But adoption must be done properly as prescribed by the laws of the country. If you go to buy a child from anybody or in any home without going through the proper laws, you are committing an offense that is referred to as abduction. What you are doing is abduction, and it is a crime. It is different from adoption. Now, if you desire to adopt a child, you pick up a form from the Ministry of Social Welfare and Youth Development. After filling the forms, you are expected to return the form back to the Social Welfare Department. There and then, you are expected to visit a home and identify the child that you desire to adopt. If you are a female, you are expected to take the consent of your husband. Or if you are a man, you are also expected to take the consent of your wife. In other words, no single parent may be allowed to adopt a child without a reasonable reason for doing so. Now, upon filling a form, an applicant is expected to identify the type of child he or she desires to adopt. You may want a male child or a female child, and the age gap, the age bracket of the type of child you desire to adopt. But it is the law that any child below the age of 17 can be adopted. Now, a parent can also desire to give out his or her child out in adoption if the child is above 1 year old. And if such a child is given out in adoption by a parent, a biological parent, all the rights and duties conferred on such a person naturally cease as soon as that adoption is allowed. The law also specifies that any applicant that is under 25 years cannot be granted adoption under the law. And it is also the law that you must be at least 21 years older than the juvenile you desire to adopt. Very often, adoption will not be allowed a male applicant, a sole applicant that is a male, to adopt a juvenile female. So if you desire to adopt a juvenile female and you are a man, you are expected to take the consent of your wife, and the two of you must jointly apply for this adoption. Now, upon filling your application, a probation officer will be given unto you, and there will be a temporary or an interim order of adoption that will be granted unto you by the juvenile court. A magistrate of a juvenile court grants an interim order for you to take up a child on a temporary adoption, a probational period of 3 months. During this period, a probation officer will be appointed who will continue to monitor the welfare of the child while he or she is staying with the applicant. The essence of this is to be sure that the child will be properly taken care of and that the applicant has the wherewithal, the emotional, the physical, the financial, and the environment to give the child adequate care and upkeep after the permanent adoption. After a period of 3 months, if the probation officer gives a good report, the report will be filed back at the magistrate court, and upon the magistrate going through the report and is satisfied that there are no objections from any quarter, because within the period of temporary adoption, the probation period of 3 months, there may be objection from any quarter objecting to this adoption. If there is no to this adoption, if there is no objection from any quarter, the magistrate of that juvenile court will go on to give a final adoption order. Upon giving a final adoption order, the juvenile becomes stricto sensu, in the real sense of the law, the child of the applicant. And the applicant is expected to have all the rights that the biological parent will have onto the child. And also, the rights a biological child will also have to a parent are all the rights that are also conferred on the child adopted. For example, upon the death of that parent, the rights of inheritance that is accorded unto a biological child is also accorded unto the child that is adopted. In other words, an adopted child has all the rights and the duties of a biological child, and he or she must be treated so. An abandoned child that is picked up from anywhere, in any area of the state must first of all be reported to the police. After reporting such a case to the police, the child will thereafter be taken to a proper motherless home. It is from this established home that the child can be adopted thereafter. So if you pick up a child somewhere, or you go to buy a child somewhere without going through the proper laws of adoption, there's proper procedures of adoption under the law of this country, you are committing an offense that is called abduction, and you are liable to an imprisonment. Now, for non-citizens that desire to adopt a child, the probation period is different. The probation period shall be a period of 6 months. Until next week, I want to wish you a wonderful day at work. And I also want to remind you that if you desire to adopt a child, please go the legal way, go the proper way, go through the normal procedure recognized by the law. If you do anything short of the legal way, you are committing an offense that is punishable under the laws of this country. Until next week, I want to wish you a wonderful day at work, and I want to remind you that when you adopt a child, you are contributing to the social welfare of the society, and God will be happy with you. Thank you. God bless you.